Well, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming to you live from my home here in Columbus. I want to thank all my loyal viewers for watching out here tonight in YouTube land or wherever you're tuning into tonight. I got a lot of things I want to talk about today, so I'm just going to jump right into it. The Cardinals had a walk-off home run tonight by Colton Wong to give him a 5-4 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. Despite their victory tonight, the Cardinals have moved up to second place in the Central. The Brewers still have first place, and they have the best record in the National League and Major League Baseball right now. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been struggling with some injuries, so their starters really need to have to go late into their ball games if they want to have a chance, or they're going to start looking shaky here before too much longer. So congratulations to the Cardinals today. Tonight. They won in a walk-off fashion. So congrats are in order to them. Also today, the Cleveland Indians gave the New York Yankees a big old fitting, along with Pat Tanaka as well. Nick Swisher had a home run tonight. And Michael Brantley had a couple of home runs tonight as well. So congratulations to the Indians for winning their ball game tonight. Pat Tanaka got roughed up tonight. He gave up 10 hits, gave up 5 earned runs, 5 Ks in his loss to the Indians today. So the Yankees, despite the fact they're still in a 3-team race with the Blue Jays and the Orioles, which I got to tell you, that is actually impressive. They're back to 500. I think they're one game above 500 right now. So they're in the middle of a 3-team race for the AL East, and this is unbelievable, which I cannot believe. I thought the Yankees were going to be done, but going into the All-Star break, some of those players are going to need that All-Star break to get back into their series. We'll have to see what happens from there. The Cincinnati Reds today won a double dip. They won a doubleheader. They won both games of a doubleheader against the Cubs today. They won the first game 4-2, and they won the second game 6-5 on a Billy Hamilton broken bat single in the ninth in a walk-off fashion. This week the Cubs today, so congratulations to the Reds today. They won a double dip today. The Indians were winners tonight as well. So congrats to both of them. The Detroit Tigers beat the Dodgers today 14-5, despite the fact that Justin Verlander, he got the win, but he gave up 5 runs in the first inning. Milky Cabrera brought the Tigers back with his bat, and along with the other Tiger bats as well, as they scored 14 runs tonight in a 14-5 victory, which featured Don Mattingly getting ejected from the ball game. You saw Puig try to intimidate the Tigers, which is something you don't do in downtown Detroit. He did, and I think if they play each other again this season, they're not gonna forget that. Anyway, moving on. The Tigers are in the middle of a 3-team race for the Central Division, as well with the Royals and the Indians. I'll get back to that here in just a second. Other scores tonight were the Phillies beat the Brewers 9-7. The Mets were winners over the Braves tonight 8-3. The Royals beat the Rays 4-3 tonight as well. The Astros beat the Rangers 8-3 tonight as well. The Rockies were winners tonight 2-1 over San Diego. The Marlins beat the D-backs 2-1 tonight as well. Toronto shut out the LA Angels 4-0 tonight. Oakland beat San Francisco in the Battle of the Bay tonight 6-1. The Twins were winners tonight over the Seattle Mariners 2-0 as well. So that's all the baseball scores here for tonight. Also, too, we have a 3-team race in the AL East between Baltimore, Toronto, and New York, like I've already mentioned, going into the All-Star break. And by the way, the defending world champion Boston Red Sox are dead last in the American League East, 10.5 games out, and they're 12 games below 500. Hard to believe. The defending world champions were celebrating last year. The Red Sox are struggling. I think with injuries, I think a lot of things have been going on. I don't know what the deal is, but if Boston wants to repeat as world champions, they better get their act together, and they better get it together now. They better get red hot and hope and pray the other teams go solid cold after the All-Star break, which is still a few days away. The American League Central, there's a 3-team race there's a 3-team race for the American League Central going on right now. Detroit, Kansas City, and Cleveland are in a 3-team race for the American League Central going into the All-Star break. I cannot believe the Royals are above 500 this late in the season, but about the first time in forever since they won the World Series almost 30 years ago. The Indians surprisingly are still in the middle of a battle for the American League Central. Despite the fact they're 1 game below 500, they're 6.5 out, and it's not over for the Indians to get back into this thing. And the Oakland A's, have the best record in the American League and all of Major League Baseball right now, and the National League's best record belongs to the Milwaukee Brewers. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, the Washington Nationals, many years known as the Montreal Expos, for years, pathetic. It says they moved to Washington right now. They're in first place in the National League East. And congratulations to them. I hope they keep, and good luck to all the teams. After the All-Star break, we'll see who gets into the playoffs come October time. So we'll have to wait and see it. But we've still got to get through the All-Star break. And going into the second half of the season, a lot of things can happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. Tomorrow afternoon, LeBron James is going to have his meeting with Pat Riley to discuss where they go from here. LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, he's going to meet with LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul. He's already met with him. Now we're going to see what happens from there. LeBron James has not made a decision yet if Cleveland convinced him to come back. But there's one thing I can tell you for sure. The one thing he was asked by the Associated Press on Tuesday, I can tell you this: I'm enjoying no complaints as far as free agency goes and how he was doing free agency. He was asked that by the Associated Press, and he said no complaints. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So the next question is, will LeBron come back to Cleveland? But in my opinion, I think the better question would be, do they want him back? After what he did 4 years ago, he's got a lot of people to convince. I mean, he turned his back on the whole city of Cleveland, a city that made him who he was, to go to South Beach. Now I'm going to tell you right now, if he comes back to Cleveland, he's got to repair a lot of things in Cleveland, a lot of people's hearts in Cleveland. Because I mean, I would love to see Cleveland win a championship. I don't care what sport it is, but it's to the point now. After what LeBron did 4 years ago, we don't know what's going to happen. We're hoping to have him come back to Cleveland, but the best thing I can do is, will he come back to Cleveland? The best thing I can tell you is stay tuned. I will let you know what happens. I will keep you apprised of the situation. Also, too, another big name is looking at free agency right now. Carmelo Anthony. Derek Fisher of the New York Knicks made a pitch to Anthony saying, if you come back, the team will be better. Will be a better team to see this coming season. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. I know he's met with the Lakers. He's met with the Bulls to see what will happen from there. And the best thing I can tell you on that is stay tuned as well. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. What about what happened in the World Cup today? I've got to say this. I was watching it at home. I was as shocked as the next guy. My sister was the one who told me about this. And I cannot believe that what happened today. Brazil got humiliated in their own country. There's just no two ways about it. Germany beat Brazil 7-1 today. Germany scored 5 goals in a span of 29 minutes. I could not believe what was happening. The match started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. About an hour and 20 minutes later, Brazilian fans were in tears. They were shocked. I wasn't in tears, but I was as shocked as they were. I just could not believe the embarrassment they suffered. And it marked the first time since 1920 that a team has lost by 3 goals or more in a World Cup semifinal. Coastal America humiliated Uruguay in 1920 by 5 goals as well. I think it was 5 goals. I'm not sure. If somebody knows, get back with me. I'll double check it, but I think it was 5 goals. I hope to get back to you, but if not, it won't. If we don't, I'm not worrying about it too much. But this is just I just had to get this on the air. And also too, as far as Brazil goes, it marked the first time since 1975 that Brazil has lost a match in their home country, and a 62-match winning streak was broken tonight as well. So, can Germany win the World Cup? I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you, not just about Germany tonight in the World Cup. LeBron, Carmelo, if you have any comments, send them to me, or if you have any questions, ask me, and I'll help you out, and I'll get the news as best I can. I'll get back to you, and we'll just have to wait and see what goes from there. Also tonight, as far as what happened with the Germany-Brazil World Cup match, Germany left 3 broken points that Brazil had. The 3 broken points Brazil left were in an internal embarrassment. It wasn't an embarrassment. Brazil was finally found out after 62 straight match wins and not losing in their home country since 1975. They got found out today, which really impressed me. and Germany's champion credentials. I think they can win the World Cup. I think Germany has a legitimate shot. Will they do it? I would love to see them do it. The next match coming up, they will get the winner of the Argentina-Netherlands match, which is today at 4 o'clock here on ESPN in about 12 hours from now. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So with that in mind, I got to say this. My Aunt Joanne asked me last night, do you want LeBron James back in Cleveland? Do you really want LeBron back? She was the one that sent me the story about LeBron coming back to Cleveland in the first. She was the one that she originally asked me, do you want LeBron back in Cleveland? I said no. But she sent me a thing a couple of days later asking me, there was a sports writer out of Cleveland that sent me a message. So I typed in, if LeBron comes back to Cleveland, maybe finally we can win a championship. I would love to see that. I would love to see LeBron come back, but he's got a long way to go. The better question is, does Cleveland win? Does Cleveland want LeBron back? That is the better question. There's a lot of things that have to be answered that really need to be answered. We'll wait and see what happens from there. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. And this is Scott Manning saying good night, good luck, and thank you. And I thank you, and good night.